Let's get into it. Obviously, I mean, unless you've been under a rock, you know what the big news is of the day. The New England Patriots release Rob, the guy that I think everyone, whether you thought Mac Brown or Mac Jones was better or going to be better or going to start eventually, I thought he'd start in the 5th week of the season. I thought that was probably a good time to throw him in with a soft part of the schedule coming. But I think everybody, Rob, thought that Cam Newton was going to be the starter. And today they go ahead and release him, really putting his NFL career in jeopardy. But I think they may have tried to do him a favor at least. We don't know, right? We don't know. There's been no reports on why they released him. Obviously, Mac Jones was going to be the starter.
Was it the rap music? No, I'm just asking.
Right.
Basket.
Racist.
No, my guess, Rob, is a guess, speculation, is that because we saw how much respect Bill Belichick and the organization had for Cam. And I don't think it was fake. I don't think it was phony. I think it was legit.
His teammates voted him captain, Chris,
right.
so it couldn't have been
after
fake.
like a couple weeks there.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it was legit. I think, Rob, that they probably went to him and said, look, we're going to go with Mac Jones. The reports are that when Cam was out with COVID-19 last week, you know, he didn't have it, but he was on the list and he had to sit out for 3 practices. That Mac Jones, who had already looked good, really played incredibly well with the starters against the New York Giants in their practices and looked really good. And that's when people are saying he won the job. And whatever the case, they decided to go with him. And I think, Rob, they gave Cam the option. I think they probably said, look, we can keep you as a backup, but if you want, you want to try to go somewhere else and start or fight for a starting job, we get it, and we're willing to release you if that's what you want. I think that's what happened, but I don't know. We'll find out hopefully within the next day or two. But what are your thoughts, Rob? I'll get to mine after you, but what are your thoughts on this?
I thought that, and I think Chris, I'm not sure if you were working that day or when we talked about it. I think you were. And I said, if Cam's not the starter, he's got to be released. You remember that? I think you were working.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
We did talk about, like, can you even have him as a backup?
Right, that he couldn't be a backup, in that situation. It was either he has to be the starter or you have to move on for him. And so I'm not totally surprised that if you're going to go that way. Now, what I am surprised is that given all the moves and the money and the stuff that they spent, I thought they were trying to make a play and trying to win. Now, and I'm not saying that they're not trying to win with Mac Jones. The only problem is, as you've talked about before, rookie quarterbacks don't win you anything, not big. And the other thing, Chris,
the grand prize.
Right, not the grand prize. And the other thing is, if he goes backwards or sideways, you know what I mean, once the real game starts, there's no going back anywhere. Like that's the danger in this.
But don't you think that once you go to Jones, whether it's the first game or the 4th game, that you can't really, I mean, you could theoretically, but don't you think it's hard to go back to Cam in that situation?
No, I agree with that.
Quarterback of the future.
No, I agree with that. But my point is, I needed to see Cam play 4 games before I'm ready to turn it over. Do you know what I mean? Like I made all these moves. I just want to see, for the last time in real games, not against backups, Chris, and not in practice and all that. Let me watch 4 games, see if we have anything with a quarterback, and then if you don't have anything, the season's not over and you go to Mac Jones. I'm saying now, if you put Mac Jones in, all right, he's the starter, and you go 0-4, your season might be over. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that you – I mean, that's the only part that I don't understand, unless they just felt like, Cam had nothing. I mean, that had to be it more so than the kid is all that. I think it's Cam has nothing.
He looked good. I mean, obviously, you can argue that he outplayed Cam in the preseason. Now, a lot of that was he got far more opportunities, more than twice as many opportunities.
And who's he playing
in the preseason?
against?
Right, and he was playing against the second units in most cases. Cam looked fine. He didn't look great. He looked fine. He looked like he could be a starter. Right. But I think Mac Jones, they just felt like he was going to give them the best chance to win. I do think, now again, I thought they'd start Cam. This is the way I thought it was going to go, Rob. I thought they would, they got Miami first, then the Jets. And I thought Cam would start with a short leash. And if he couldn't do anything against the Jets, that defense, I know they got Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator, as a head coach now and all that, and that's fine. But they're a bad defense, at least at this point. And if he struggled against them, I think alarm bells start going off. And then they got New Orleans, which I think is going to be better than people think. Certainly that defense is still good. And then you got Tampa Bay with Brady, and I don't think you want to make Mac Jones' first start against Tampa Bay. So I thought, Rob, assuming Cam would be mediocre to bad in the first 4 games, that game 5, week 5, they play Houston, who's horrible. Then, 6 of their next 7 opponents after Tampa Bay have losing records. And I thought that's when they go to Mac Jones and it would be his job.
Right, but what happens if Mac Jones can't get anything done against the Jets? I'm just giving you the other side.
Right. I don't think they were going to Cam, because it's just –
no.
We saw it. They did it in Miami, right? They went from Tua or Fitzpatrick to Tua, then Tua to Fitzpatrick. And it just gets too wacky.
No. You got to make a decision. There's no doubt about it. And I'm just saying, I really thought that they would start with Cam for the first 4, see where he is, Chris. If he can get anything back, this is a guy who won an MVP and went to the Super Bowl or whatever. And there's a lot of things that happened last year, and I'm not making excuses. It's just fact of what happened. But then again, this year he had got COVID last year, and then he had to go on a COVID protocol, right? And then there was a misunderstanding about him missing time, all kinds of stuff.
That really hurt him, Rob.
There. Yeah, I know.
By the reports, that's when people are saying Mac, just wowed the Patriots. And he destroyed, reportedly, the Giants, whose defense is okay in practices. And that, now maybe, Rob, that's kind of a romantic thing, right? Right. It makes it, it's such a great story.
Yeah, he won the job. Exactly, right.
I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what's being reported, and it's certainly feasible. But I'll say this, Rob, and I know everybody looks at Cam's age. He's only 32, and he's still, like you said, he was an MVP, he got a team to a Super Bowl. I think he's done as a great quarterback. I don't think that's any revelation. Could he be maybe solid? Could he maybe be a legitimate starter? Yeah, I guess. But I don't think he can be a very good quarterback anymore. I just think he's banged up. I think he's taken so many hits. We know he was he ran a lot. He wasn't a running quarterback, but he ran a lot. And, Rob, you noticed they treat him like he was a fullback. The refs. They let him take shots that other quarterbacks typically don't take. Yeah, he looks like Derrick Henry out there, And I just think he's beat up physically, Rob. And, so I thought this was coming soon, but at least the start that Jones would start. But I didn't know it would come this soon, as nobody did. So let's turn the weigh in on the Cam Newton cut. What are your thoughts? Mistake? Or did they do the right thing? Let's hear what you got.
That's right. Did they see the future before we saw it? Let's kick it off with Sean in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
Oh, my God. My uncle's from another mother, man. It's like a family reunion on the show today, baby. How y'all living over there?
Hey, the summer's over,
we
man.
Doing well, my man.
We had all that time from last year, right? Didn't take any time off, so here we are. We're back.
Hey, man, well-deserved. Big Rob, you're the hardest man in the business, man. I'm glad you got a little vacation. Glad you got to sightsee a little bit. We still waiting for you in Sacramento. Congratulations to Chris, man. I know he doing it big time right now, man. We better still see you on the Odd Couple for these next 3 years, bro. Don't be big timing us over here, bro.
That's right.
I'm in it to win it, man, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, man, and shout out to Torres, VJ Husky, Rob filling in. But, hey, I'm going to keep it real, man. They got to cut the check for the Big A, Alex Tice shirt, and the super producer, Rob G. Without those two, man, I don't even know what this show would be, man. Come on now.
Wow.
Alex's head doesn't need to get any bigger.
Hey,
It's
man,
already
they
hard
need to
getting
just
him
give
in the
them the
studio.
lifetime contract, man. They make the world go round, man.
Sean knows
They-
truth
We
sounds when he hears it,
gladly
my
do
guys.
it.
That's right.
They got
Hey.
wandering eyes. It's not our fault.
Now that glass in the booth there just got dented from Alex's head, you know?
Hey, man, hey, but it wouldn't be nothing else if the callers weren't on. So my 2 cents real quick, man, is, hey, this should have been done last year. Cam had no business getting inside to that contract as a starter. He's been washed since he tore that rotator cuff. It's even worse now that he has all these leg injuries. And come on, man, if you really want to be a legit starter in this league and really be a leader, go ahead and get your COVID shot, man. You got people in the locker room with compromised immune system. You risking everybody's paycheck, Cam. Come on, man. You know better than that, baby. This is well-deserved, and I feel like this is Mac Jones' big shot. He deserves this so much more than Cam does right now.
Well, Rob, we're going to get into, in the third hour, what Cam's future looks like. And I think that vaccination is going to be a factor, Rob. Is the team going to want to bring him in if he's not vaccinated?
It is going to be a factor. And you know what, Chris? Right now, people could use that it was an experimental drug and you don't know what this and that. You can't use that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, either you got to get on board or a company can make a decision on which way they want to go. Like, that's where we are. And there'll be people who will be on the outside looking in because they don't want to do it. And it's their choice, but you got to live with what the new world we're living in. You know what I mean? So it could hamper him because
Look,
you
he's
see
going
some teams
somewhere. Wherever he goes, it's going to be as a backup. Are you bringing in an unvaccinated backup quarterback?
No,
I
don't think you are. I agree with you. Russell in Baltimore, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Russell?
Hey, guys. It's great to have you both back. You guys
Thank
got
you.
the best show on the radio.
Thank you, my man.
Up on Game is going to give you a run for your money, but right now you guys are the king.
We got more degrees. The two of us have more degrees than the three of them. They're not overtaking us.
So you know what? You guys are great. Look,
Thanks.
I wanted to say, Cam brought this on himself. Bill Belichick does not deal with uncertainties and guys not putting team first. The best quality of the GOAT is he came in early, stayed late, never said the wrong thing, and was a great leader. And Cam got COVID last year. He gets COVID again, protocol this year. The guy won't get the shot, and his career is hanging by a thread. I mean, to me, guys, come on, that doesn't show me he's very, I don't know. He's smartest. He's the brightest bulb on the chandelier. I'm from Baltimore, and our quarterback, he's really good, so he can do.
He's not vaccinated either. Lamar's not vaccinated either.
I know for right now, but we'll see how this thing plays out. And you know what, Chris? Well, listen, and I'm not saying everybody's in Cam's situation, but I'm sure that there's some buzz around NFL locker rooms about, not being vaccinated if you go down with COVID. You know what I mean?
Right.
And somebody else, like there's a little bit of that. I mean, out there.
Well, Rob, we talked yesterday. Ephraim Salam filled in for you, obviously former NFL player, and TJ Houshmandzadeh talked about this last week. They both agreed. They said, look, if a quarterback that's unvaccinated misses a game and it costs you maybe a trip to the playoffs because you lose that one game or two games or whatever,
right.
or if for some reason, this is possible. We know about forfeits. So if a team had to forfeit a game, and Rob, that's paychecks. Yep. They said dudes will look at that guy sideways. All right, because now you're costing us money. Even if the game's not forfeited, maybe the fact that we didn't make the playoffs could cost us money. You know what I mean? Or guys get cut because you didn't win, whatever it is. But, and they said it's not a problem now because it's the preseason.
But now once the game starts, yeah. I agree. Let's squeeze in Robert from Georgia. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Robert?
What's going on, fellas? Glad to have you guys back.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to say that I think that the reason that they cut him was just me because he didn't get the vaccination like everybody's saying. And my only thing with that is I don't think it's fair because it's like it started out as it being it's everyone's choice. Everyone has the right to do what they need to do. and whatever they believe in. But now it's becoming peer pressure and like, oh, if you don't, it's a mob mentality. Oh, if you don't do this, you're not a team leader. You don't. It's leading into other things that it shouldn't lead to. If a person makes a personal decision, they don't know why they're making those personal decisions, whether it's religious or whatever it may be, then that should be applauded and not looked at as you're not a leader or you're not a good person, and it's becoming peer pressure, and it's not fair. I don't understand why that's the case.
Yeah,
ahead,
I think you got to make a case for it if you're talking about the reason you're not, but you're in a locker room around 53 players. You know what I mean, Chris? Close quarters.
Right.
This
That's
ain't
the
you're not
difference.
working in a cubicle in an office by yourself. Like this just there's no other way around it. I mean,
That's the difference.
Am I right?
And when you say, Rob, it's a personal decision, it could affect other people.
Right.
It could affect their paychecks. It could affect their health. That's the
It could
thing. I'm
affect
all
somebody in
for
their family. I mean,
Personal freedoms. Yes.
Right.
Personal beliefs. We got to let people believe what they believe. Religiously or otherwise, I'm with that. But this is putting other people's health at risk and livelihoods to some degre. So
this just
that's
a
the
bigger
difference.
fish to fry, Chris. I'm with you on this. This is not your standard, something that only affects you. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you decide to do something, even if it was the Kaepernick and he wants to kneel down, that only affects him. That
Right.
doesn't affect anybody else, right? That's what he wanted to do. He didn't push anybody else into doing it. That was him. And
Yep.
and I can respect that, right? Did he disrupt the national anthem? Did he yell at the person who was singing it? Did he tackle the person? You know what I mean?
He went out of
Stopping
his
other-
way to be respectful.
Exactly. So that was personal. But in this case, because it's so contagious and what's happened, I mean, Chris and I, we lost people in our business. Chris lost his father-in-law. I mean, it ain't that easy just to say, well, I don't want to do it because I don't want to do it. It's just not anymore, Chris. It's not.